Spells like Fireball or Polymorph get all the glory, but D&D is packed with hundreds of fun and unique spells just waiting for their time to shine. These gems can turn the tide of battle, outsmart enemies, or add a unique twist to any adventure. Today, we're diving into magic that deserves way more love, so let's jump right on into the most underrated spells for D&D 5th edition. Starting off our list today, we have the 2nd level abjuration spell, Warding Bond. You touch a willing creature and create a mystical bond between the two of you. While you and your bonded creature are within 60 feet of each other, you gain 3 main benefits. +1 to AC, +1 to all saving throws, and you get resistant to all damage. But the best part of Warding Bond is that every time your buddy takes damage, you also take damage. And to clarify, it is the same amount of damage, not split. And I can already see the comments now that it doesn't sound like the best part, but think about it for a second. Really, the resistance and damage sharing aspect of the spell is just a fancy explanation in D&D for players to functionally split damage between 2 players. Let's go into some detail just to explain how this works, right? Imagine casting Warding Bond on a monk. The resistance and damage split allows time for the party healer to keep the damage in check and effectively doubles the monk's survivability. And the spell's even better than that because it's not even concentration. So while your monk buddy is over there punching enemies left and right, you can cast other spells to control the battlefield, or maybe even pop a haste on the monk as well to increase their AC further and make them truly unhittable. And if you're worried about overdoing it and maybe falling unconscious yourself, don't worry about it so much. If things get dicey or the damage becomes too much to handle, you can always end the bond simply by moving out of that 60-foot range. Honestly, this spell is pretty much a game changer, and it's not just powerful, but it's creative. It encourages teamwork and strategy and really brings forward a lot of clutch moments. So if you ever need to add a bit of resistance to your party tank with a bit of unique flair, pick up Warding Bond for some truly unique gameplay. Next up for today is one of my personal favorite spells in 5th edition, the 4th level transmutation spell, Guardian of Nature. This spell is about self-empowerment, offering a suite of bonuses tailored to the situation that you're in. And what's cool is that it's cast as a bonus action, meaning you can dive right into the action after you cast it. It allows you to transform yourself into a primal power, choosing either the Primal Beast or Great Tree, each giving their own unique benefits. Starting off with the Primal Beast benefits, you gain 10 feet to your walking speed, dark vision out to 120 feet, you make strength-based attack rolls with advantage, and your melee attacks deal an extra d6 of damage. These benefits obviously lean into a more offensive playstyle, where on the flip side, the Great Tree form focuses more on defense and control. You gain 10 temporary hit points, you have advantage on Constitution saving throws, you have advantage on Dexterity and Wisdom-based attack rolls, and the ground around you within 15 feet becomes difficult terrain for enemies. 2 very different forms with 2 very different benefits. But the versatility here is really what makes this spell shine. Need to charge into battle and just punch some faces? Primal Beast form. Wanna hunker down and hold the line? Great Tree form might be the play. Now this spell does require concentration, which is obviously a downside. However, the Great Tree form does kind of offset that by giving you advantage on Constitution saves. As for the Primal Beast form, well, hopefully luck is on your side. Now you might be thinking, is this really worth a 4th level spell slot? After all, you have a bunch of heavy hitters there with Blight, Wall of Fire, Greater Invisibility, and even one of the most popular spells in all of 5th edition, Polymorph, all of them vying for that same spell slot. The truth is, Guardian of Nature is not going to dethrone any of these heavy hitters. It's not about raw power, it's about versatility and creativity, and while the other spells clearly have more power, Guardian of Nature has more versatile options available to it. But the true potential of this spell lies with druids, in particular moon druids, for one very simple reason, being Wild Shape. Cast Guardian of Nature on yourself, then use Wild Shape, and boom! You're now a supercharged bear, wolf, or whatever terrifying beast suits your mood, with the Guardian of Nature buffs carrying over. And before you rules lawyers come out of the audience and yell, "Wait, doesn't Wild Shape negate the transformation from Guardian of Nature?" Let me stop you right there. First off, do you play this game to have fun or just to complain about some stupid guy on YouTube? I mean, complaining is fine in their own right, but just let people enjoy the game, am I right? And speaking of enjoying the game, if you're enjoying this video, why not like and subscribe, because that's what cool people do. And if you're a complainer, feel free to complain while you're doing it. Just make sure to let me know in the comments below what you think. But anyways, back to reality. Jeremy Crawford did confirm that this does work, so there you go, no argument necessary. So if you enjoy exploring unique spells with some fun potential, take a look at Guardian of Nature. And now we say goodbye to our villain's dignity with the third spell on today's list, Otto's Irresistible Dance. This spell doesn't just incapacitate your enemies, it turns them into the star of Faerun's newest hit show, Dancing with the Villains. Otto's Irresistible Dance is a 6th level enchantment spell that does exactly what it sounds like. It forces a creature to dance uncontrollably. And yes, I know what you're thinking. A 6th level spell? That's a high price to pay to make someone do the cha-cha, and normally I would agree with you, but there's one detail here that makes the difference. This spell just happens. That's right, even if they succeed on their saving throw, as long as they can be charmed, they start dancing, period. And while making the big bad evil guy bust out his best disco moves is hilarious in its own right, these spell effects don't stop there. If they fail their saving throw, they not only dance, but also have a few more pretty terrible side effects. While under this spell's influence, that target must use all of their movement to dance, have disadvantage on all dexterity saving throws and attack rolls, and all attack rolls against them have advantage. Now this spell is concentration and lasts up to a minute, and this is where the strategy comes into play. The affected creature can use an action to remake their wisdom saving throw in order to break free. It's not a free saving throw like many other spells you might be used to, it is a saving throw at the cost of an action. So even if they succeed, they still use their turn doing the Charleston, and if they fail, then they are stuck for another round, wasting their action all until they succeed. So at worst, this spell is a guaranteed action waster, and at best, it is a complete lockdown. And if you want to kick it up a notch, you can just throw in a well-timed Silvery Barbs and make sure that they definitely fail that save. This all makes it highly unlikely that they will be able to escape, leaving your party free to dish out damage and take control of any fight. Sure, Otto's Irresistible Dance is a costly one at 6th level, but when used properly, it can be a game changer. It neutralizes enemies, disrupts plans, and gives your party a massive advantage. And let's be honest, making the boss dance their way into defeat is the perfect recipe for a memorable boss encounter. So if you want to lock down an enemy and laugh while you're doing it, make sure to pick up Otto's Irresistible Dance. Next up, we have one of my favorite story-enabling spells with the 5th level divination spell, Legend Lore. This spell lets you name a person, place, or object, and in return, you get lore about that topic. The more information you already know about that topic, the more detailed the information you receive becomes. The example in the spell description is about a magical axe, and it gives this response.
Woe to the evildoers whose hand touches the axe, for even the haft slices the hand of the evil ones. Only a true child of stone, lover and beloved of Moradin, may awaken the true power of the axe, and only with the sacred word
Rudnog? Rudnog. Alright, well, it sounded cool until the last part. While this might sound like a conceptual version of Identify, it's actually more than that. Where Identify reveals mechanical details about magic items, Legend Lore provides rich context, history, and stories, alongside the fact that it can be used on more than just objects. The spell becomes especially valuable right alongside the time in the campaign where it shifts from simple bandits to investigating ancient mysteries. Imagine a mid-level party or so hearing rumors for the first time of a mountain shrouded in an eternal mist with its peak shrouded from sight. Casting Legend Lore on this area might yield something like this.
Mount Greythorn, the wailing crown, stands as a tomb for the betrayed and the bound. Its stones remember the oaths once broken, its winds carry whispers of curses unspoken. Those who climb its height hear mournful cries, each step carefully watched by unseen eyes. No adventurer returns unchanged, their souls forever marked by the mountain's gaze.
Now that is the kind of flavor that keeps your players engaged and adds depth to your campaign. It definitely, and I mean definitely, requires some setup from your DM, so it's worth mentioning, but it is well worth the effort. So if you're looking for a spell that can transform your players' curiosity into a fantastic adventure, Legend Lore is the perfect pick for you. Now for the final spell on today's list, we have to talk about the 3rd level illusion spell, Fear. And yes, it does exactly what it sounds like, but allow me to elaborate. The spell creates a phantasmal image of a creature's worst fear, forcing every creature in a 30-foot cone to make a wisdom saving throw. Fail that save, and not only do they drop whatever they are holding, but they are also frightened. And yeah, that might not sound that great, but this isn't just frightened, this is advanced frightened. Instead of simple disadvantage and the inability to move, affected creatures instead must use their action to dash away from you, burning their entire turn to get as far away from you as possible. And because this spell can hit multiple targets, it can completely disrupt an encounter in the right circumstances, essentially giving you and your party a free round of actions while your enemies scatter. Now you might be thinking that this spell sounds broken, so why is it on the underrated spells list? Well, the catch for Fear is that it relies on the frightened condition, and a lot of enemies in 5th edition are actually straight out immune to being frightened, and against those creatures this spell does nothing. But if you're up against enemies without that immunity, then this spell becomes incredibly powerful. Another thing about Fear is that enemies don't get to remake their saving throw until they break line of sight with the source of their fear. So if you're fighting in a field or a wide open space, they might be stuck running away for an entire minute. However, if you're in a crowded area with plenty of cover and nooks and crannies, they might be able to just duck behind a building or an obstacle and regain their composure at the end of their turn. But if they do break free, Fear at least guarantees you one turn of affected creatures running away from you without attacking, which honestly could be a game changer. When used strategically, this spell can give you and your party just the opening you needed to take control of a battle. And that's 5 of the most underrated spells for D&D 5th edition, but what do you think? Are these the most underrated spells in all of 5th edition, or did I miss some? Leave a comment below and let me know. And hey, if you're looking for more ways to enjoy the game, why not hit the like button and subscribe for more epic spell breakdowns, combos, or maybe some DM tips or two for DMs who have players that might watch videos like this one. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.